how to improve your handwriting from scratch. Whether you're looking to make your notes more legible, add a personal touch to your journaling, or simply enjoy the mindful process of writing, I've got you covered. We'll be exploring some super practical, beginner-friendly tips that can genuinely transform your penmanship. I truly believe that anyone, and I mean anyone, can develop clearer, more aesthetically pleasing handwriting with a bit of guidance and consistent practice. So, if you've ever felt a twinge of embarrassment about your handwriting, or wished you could write those beautifully flowing letters you see others create, then you're in exactly the right place. Forget any preconceived notions that good handwriting is an innate talent you either have or you don't. That's simply not true. Like any other skill, whether it's learning a musical instrument or mastering a new language, improving your handwriting is all about understanding the fundamentals, applying the right techniques, and dedicating a little bit of time to practice. It's a journey, not a race, and the good news is that even small changes can make a big difference. Throughout this video, I'm going to break down the process into simple, actionable steps. We'll cover everything from the tools you use to the way you form your letters and how to build a sustainable practice habit. My goal is to equip you with a clear roadmap so you can start seeing improvements almost immediately. So grab a notebook and your favorite pen, because we're about to embark on a handwriting makeover that will take your script from potentially messy to truly marvelous. Let's get started. Alright, so the very first thing we need to talk about, and this might seem almost too basic, is choosing the right tools. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Arushi, it's just a pen and paper. How much difference can it really make? And trust me, I used to think that too. But what I've found, and what many calligraphy experts will tell you, is that the comfort and quality of your tools can significantly impact your writing experience, and consequently, your results. Think about it. If your pen is scratchy, skips ink, or feels awkward in your hand, you're going to be fighting against it, making the whole process more frustrating and less conducive to forming neat letters. A comfortable pen that glides smoothly across the page reduces friction and allows for more controlled movements, which is crucial when you're trying to improve your form. So, what makes a comfortable pen? Well, this can be quite personal. Some people prefer a thicker barrel for a more substantial grip, while others like a slimmer, lighter pen. Some swear by fountain pens for their effortless ink flow, while others find gel pens or fine liners offer the precision they need. My advice here is to experiment a little. Don't feel you need to go out and buy the most expensive pen on the market. Often, very affordable pens can be fantastic. The key is to find one that feels good in your hand, one that allows you to write for a period without cramping up, and one that produces a consistent line. Pay attention to the grip, the weight, and how the ink flows. It's about making the physical act of writing as pleasant as possible. And then there's the paper. Again, you don't need fancy, expensive stationery, but good quality paper can make a surprising difference. Paper that's too thin might cause ink to bleed through or feather, making your letters look messy regardless of how well you form them. Paper that's too rough or toothy, as they say, can make your pen drag and skip, especially if you're using a fine-tipped pen or a fountain pen. Look for paper that's smooth enough for your pen to glide easily, but has enough substance to handle the ink well. Even a decent quality notebook from a local stationery shop can be perfectly adequate. The goal here is to eliminate any external factors that might hinder your practice, allowing you to focus purely on your technique. Okay, so you've got your trusty pen and some decent paper. The next step, and this is absolutely fundamental, is to practice basic strokes. I know, it sounds a bit like being back in primary school, but hear me out. Just like a musician practices scales or an artist practices lines and shapes, mastering these simple foundational elements is key to building elegant and consistent handwriting. Most letters in the English alphabet, and indeed in many scripts, are essentially combinations of a few basic strokes: straight lines, vertical, horizontal, diagonal, circles or ovals, and curves or loops. If you can execute these basic components with control and consistency, then forming complete letters will become so much easier and more natural. Think of it like building with Legos. The individual bricks might seem simple, but they are the building blocks for creating complex structures. Similarly, these basic strokes are the building blocks of your letters. So, what I recommend is spending some time, even just a few minutes, deliberately practicing these. You can fill a page with parallel vertical lines, trying to make them all the same length and equally spaced. Then move on to horizontal lines, then diagonals. Practice drawing circles and ovals, aiming for smooth, even shapes without any wobbles or flat edges. Then try some simple curves, like an S shape, or a series of connected U shapes, like a cursive or, and without the connecting strokes. The goal here isn't to write words yet, but to train your hand and eye. You're developing muscle memory and fine motor control. Focus on the evenness of pressure, the smoothness of your lines, and the consistency of your shapes. Are your circles actually round? Are your straight lines truly straight? Are your loops open and consistent in size? This might feel a bit tedious at first, but I promise you, this foundational work pays huge dividends. It's about building a strong core for your handwriting. When you can confidently and consistently produce these basic strokes, you'll find that your letters start to look much more uniform and polished almost automatically. It's a game changer, genuinely. Now, this next tip is something I found incredibly effective, not just for handwriting, but for learning pretty much any new skill. Slow down and focus on form. In our fast-paced world, we're often conditioned to do things quickly. When we write, especially if we're taking notes or just jotting something down, our default mode is often to rush. But when you're actively trying to improve your handwriting, speed is actually your enemy, at least initially. Trying to write beautifully and quickly before you've mastered the fundamentals is like trying to sprint before you can walk properly. It usually just leads to frustration and messy results. So what I want you to do is consciously make an effort to write much more slowly than you normally would. I mean, really slow it down. As you form each letter, pay close attention to its shape, its proportions, and how it connects to the next letter if you're aiming for a cursive style. Think about the individual strokes that make up that letter. Are you executing them correctly, as we discussed in the previous chapter? Are your ascenders, the tall parts of letters like H, L, K, reaching a consistent height? Are your descenders, the parts that go below the line, like in G, Jawa P, a consistent length and angle? This deliberate, slow practice allows your brain to process the movements and helps to build accurate muscle memory. The beauty of slowing down is that it gives you the mental space to be mindful about what you're doing. You can observe your hand movements, notice where you tend to make mistakes, and make conscious corrections in real time. Are you gripping the pen too tightly? Is your posture good? Are you forming your O's as nice ovals, or are they a bit squashed? This kind of focused attention is crucial for breaking old ingrained habits of messy writing and establishing new, more refined ones. It might feel a little unnatural at first, almost like you're drawing the letters rather than writing them, and that's perfectly okay. Remember, the goal here is to retrain your hand and your eye. Speed will come naturally later, once the correct forms are deeply embedded. Once you're comfortable with basic strokes and the idea of slowing down, a super useful tool to take your practice to the next level is handwriting worksheets or guide sheets. These are essentially printable templates with lines and often example letters that help you practice consistency in size, spacing, and slant. Think of them as training wheels for your handwriting. They provide a structure that can be incredibly helpful, especially when you're trying to unlearn years of less than perfect penmanship and establish new, more uniform habits. You can find tons of these online for free, or even create your own simple ones. The main benefit of using worksheets is that they provide clear visual cues. For example, a standard worksheet might have a baseline, a midline, or X height line, and a cap height line. This helps you ensure that the main body of your lowercase letters like A, C, E, M consistently reaches the midline, and your uppercase letters and tall lowercase letters like T, B, D consistently reach the cap height line. This kind of guided practice is invaluable for developing a sense of proportion and uniformity in your letters, which are key characteristics of neat and legible handwriting. It takes the guesswork out of how tall should this letter be, or how far should this descender go. When you're using these worksheets, don't just passively trace or copy. Engage with the process actively. Focus on hitting those lines consistently. Pay attention to the spacing between letters and between words. Many worksheets also include practice for specific letter forms, showing you the correct stroke order and shape. This repetitive, guided practice helps to drill the correct forms into your muscle memory, much more effectively than just writing freely on a blank page, at least in the initial stages of improvement. You can start with basic print, then move on to cursive if that's your goal. It's all about building that consistency, letter by letter, until it becomes second nature. Now we've talked about tools, basic strokes, slowing down, and using worksheets. All of these are fantastic techniques, but the glue that holds all of this together, the thing that will ultimately determine your success in transforming your handwriting, is consistent practice. And I really want to emphasize the word consistent. It's far more effective to practice for, say, 10 to 15 minutes every single day than to have one long 2-hour session once a week. This principle applies to learning almost anything, and handwriting is no exception. Daily, short bursts of focused practice help to reinforce what you're learning and build muscle memory much more efficiently. The key here is to make it a habit, something that becomes a natural part of your routine. Think about where you can realistically carve out a few minutes each day. Maybe it's first thing in the morning with your coffee, or during your lunch break, or perhaps in the evening as a way to wind down. The exact time doesn't matter as much as the regularity. Even 5 minutes of deliberate practice, where you're truly focusing on your form and consistency, is better than no practice at all. Set a reminder on your phone if you need to, or leave your notebook and pen out in a visible place as a cue. The goal is to reduce the friction to getting started. And remember, this practice doesn't always have to be formal worksheet drills. Once you're more comfortable, you can incorporate mindful handwriting into your everyday tasks. For example, when you're writing your to-do list, make a conscious effort to form your letters neatly. If you're journaling, slow down and focus on your penmanship. Even writing a shopping list can become an opportunity for practice. The more you integrate this mindful approach to writing into your daily life, the faster you'll see improvements. It's about making that conscious choice to write well as often as possible until it becomes your new unconscious default. Little by little, those minutes add up, and you'll be amazed at the progress you can make. So there you have it, 5 practical, beginner-friendly steps to help you improve your handwriting from scratch. We've covered choosing the right tools, mastering basic strokes, the importance of slowing down and focusing on form, using worksheets for consistency, and crucially, setting aside daily practice time. Remember, transforming your handwriting is a journey, not an overnight miracle. Like any skill worth developing, progress takes time, patience, and consistent effort. Don't get discouraged if you don't see dramatic changes immediately. Celebrate the small wins along the way. Perhaps your A's are looking more consistent, or your lines are a bit straighter. Every little improvement is a step in the right direction. The key is to keep practicing and to be kind to yourself. There will be days when your writing flows beautifully, and other days when it might feel a bit off. That's completely normal. What matters is that you stick with it. The techniques we've discussed today are designed to build a solid foundation, and if you apply them regularly, I am absolutely confident that you will see a significant improvement in your penmanship. It's all about that deliberate practice and building those good habits. I would absolutely love to see how you get on. Please do share your progress, your favorite tips, or any challenges you encounter in the comments section below. It's always great to learn from each other and support each other in our self-improvement journeys. And if you found this video helpful, and you're interested in more tips on productivity, learning, and self-improvement, please do consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy writing!